Hello, we are learning Likkutei Torah by Yikra, the Parshas Tzav, Daf Yud, and we are learning the Maimer Inyan Shivas Yimei HaMiluyim, which is a explanation of the previous two Maimarim, and it's discussing the idea of the sun and the moon and the relationship between Chassan and Kala, as seen through the Sheva Bracha, the last of the Sheva Brachas, where we mentioned the Chassanim and the Na'arim. And so the author begins the Maimer by explaining that there are two words for sun. There's Shemesh and Chama, and he explains that Chama is that Shemesh is a reference to the emotive attributes of Atzilus as they are in Atzilus. In a world of perfect godliness, these are the emotions of God, so to speak. And when the sun is called a Chama, this refers to the sun being expressing downwards, expressing into creation, expressing into Biyah. And so which is why it's called Chama from the term heat, chamimos, because it brings heat, it brings the severity of withholding. And the moon is Malchus of Atzilus, is the final sphere of Atzilus, is the final attribute of Atzilus, which has this unique quality of being both a sphere of Atzilus as well as be expressing downwards into Biyah. And he explains the pasuk that the pasuk says that when Mashiach comes, the light of the moon will be like the light of the sun, and the light of the sun will be like 70-fold, like the light of Sheshis Mei Bereshis, of Shivas Hayamim. And so the Alter Rebbe explains that what is going to happen when Mashiach comes is that because all of the universes will lift up, the perspective of the sun and the moon will also change, in that what is regular in Malchus of Atzilus is going to now be lifted up to the perspective of Tzav Atzilus, and what is Tzav Atzilus will also be lifted up to an even higher level, and is going to be the overwhelming perception will be that of God's energy and God's existence over the existence of over materialism and over our existence. And he explains that that we currently call the sun and the moon Na'arim, these children, and he says that when Mashiach comes, the children will be the ones that we value. As we say, Chanech Lanar al Pidarkei, that you teach a child according to his way, that the faces of the elders will be whitened by the children, and then in both senses, what's going to happen when Mashiach comes is that we are going to understand how, from the material perspective, God's existence can be revealed. God's existence can be found in an even greater way, and this is also this ties in with Havaya and Elokim, the two names of God. That when Mashiach comes, we are going to understand how the Elokim, which is primarily responsible for nature and the natural way of things, will reveal God in a way of Havaya. This is also the meaning of what we say in the Sheva Brachas, that with the Mesameach Chassan im Hakala, as opposed to Chassan Vikala, the last thing we say in the Sheva Brachas is Mesameach Chassan im Hakala, because in Gullus there's this disparity between the Chassan and the Kala. There's a distance that is natural and in a process of coming close and coming far, like the moon, which has its phases. But when Mashiach comes, the moon will be constantly bright, and so we're going to be able to delight with both the Chassan and the Kala, both at the same level. And he goes on to explain that this will give us context to appreciate the Shivas Yimei HaMiluyim, which are the 7 days of installation that came after when the Mishkan was built. And what the Alter Rebbe explains is based on a Zohar that the Shivas Yimei HaMeluyim, these 7 days, were a glimmer of the times of Mashiach, of this exact thing that we're describing, that during these Shivas Yimei HaMeluyim, God revealed Himself, and particularly He used the tool of the Shemen HaMishcha, of the anointing oil, to anoint the Kohanim, and allow a perspective to be revealed to earth of this higher reality. But the Alter Rebbe stresses that it's not the same as the revelation that is going to occur when Mashiach comes. It's a me'ain, it's a glimmer, it's a hint of it, but that we will ultimately see the real understanding of this, the real appreciation of this true equality, and this true perspective on reality when Mashiach comes.